Hello everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Ohioman, and welcome to my weekly news and video roundup. So I'd like to start off by apologizing that this is coming a day later than usual. It's coming on Monday, if you're watching this on a date that's not Monday. And the reason for that is because this was a pretty crazy weekend, like with a snowstorm that we had, and a bunch of other stuff that happened, and I just didn't have time to make this video at all. One of the crazy things that happened was I went to the Lindsey Stirling concert in New York City on Saturday night. I actually got a meet and greet ticket, so I got to meet her. That was pretty cool. Probably post a picture right here of that. The first thing that caught my eye the past week was, you know how I was extremely upset about Vigil Studios closing down, Makers of Darksider, and like nobody bought them? What happened was Crytek, the people that make Crysis, they were kind of shocked that nobody had bid on Vigil Studios, and what they ended up doing was creating a new studio called Crytek USA, and they pretty much hired like a bunch of the ex-members from Vigil Studios, so now it's pretty much just Vigil Studios, but underneath a different name. And while that's great news, it's still kind of sad because they're not making Darksiders 3 yet, which is understandable, but Crytek had said that Darksiders 3 wasn't exactly fitting in with like what their business model is right now, or like the types of games they're making. I'm not 100% sure the reason, but they said that's not going to be the first game that Crytek USA is going to be making. But I'm actually wondering, because technically they didn't buy the rights to Darksiders, so would they be able to even make the game? Like, what's happening to that IP now? I'm not 100% sure. Does it, like, if nobody buys it, I mean, technically, can't they make it? There's a little floating thing. Stop. Good. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play out. I hope eventually that they'll be able to make Darksiders 3 in the future. But like I said, I have no idea what, like, the whole copyright thing is and anything, with the whole IP and stuff like that. So, we'll see how that turns out in the future. But at least the employees of Vigil Studios are like still employed at like underneath a different name. So that's at least some good news that came out of that whole situation. And as a nice segue into the one piece of movie news I have this week, how about a gaming and movie news combined into one? Why do I always do this? I don't know. It's J.J. Abrams and Gabe Newell. J.J. Abrams, you probably know, like director and stuff. Gabe Newell is the boss of Valve. They were talking to each other. And what is with the wavy thing this day? This day? Apparently, J.J. Abrams might be making a Portal and a Half-Life movie, and he's also going to be working with Gabe Newell on making, like, games and stuff like that. Not 100% sure on the games front what they're going to be doing, but I know they said that a Half-Life movie and a Portal movie are in the offering, so that should be pretty interesting. It's like, recently, J.J. Abrams is like, I'm just going to take over all the geeky movie franchises and just make them my own. Because he has Star Trek, he's now got Star Wars, or at least Episode 7. He's going to be having two of the most beloved game series from one of the most beloved game companies around. So, he's on like a warpath to just take over nerddom. Is nerddom a word? I think it is. I'll make one if it's not. And speaking of the Star Wars franchise, that's actually a much better segue than I anticipated. It was announced this week that they are going to be making standalone Star Wars movies, which are going to be, like, based on certain characters from the universe. It was rumored at first that they were going to be making a Yoda one, but that's unconfirmed as of right now. But the two that they did confirm was one based around a young Han Solo, and the other one is going to be based around Boba Fett, which is another absolutely beloved character. So it's like, they're like, we don't know if fans are going to react well to these movies, so we're just going to take their two favorite characters and make it off of that, and we'll see what happens. Which is a good strategy. Good strategy. I'm hoping that they eventually make one based on my most beloved character from the Star Wars franchise, Greedo, because he's such an interesting character that was just so underplayed in the movie. I mean, he had like one line or something like that, and the poor bastard. I mean, we still don't know 100% what happened to him. I mean, people are saying, like, oh, Han shot first, but we don't know. Maybe if we explore a movie around him, we'll get into the mind of Greedo, and we'll finally figure out, could Greedo have possibly shot first? Was he that much of a killer to be able to pull that off? Or was he a nice guy, and Han was obviously the one that shot first? And you can't say 100% sure what happened, since it happened such a long, long time ago in a galaxy that's so far away from us. I mean, it's all just, like, probably like a telephone thing, where, like, one person's like, he shot first, and no, he shot first. So, we'll just have to wait to find out. I can already feel, like, a bunch of angry Star Wars fans yelling at me, like, Han shot first, you jackass, there's no question. I love stirring up rage. Anyway, that's all the news I have for you this week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to click the thumbs up button down below. And also feel free to leave a comment, particularly if you're angry at the whole Han Solo might not have shot first thing. Please, I just want to have, like, a war raging. I don't know why. It's just so much fun to do that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.